Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today's video is going to be the update for my Panda palette. If you don't know, if you haven't seen any of my other Panda palette videos, I am panning the Nabla Dreamy palette, or what is left of it, not a lot. And I included my ABH Nervina palette into this project. I want to say 2 months back, but not really sure. So without further ado, I'm going to show you what the remainder of my Nabla Dreamy palette looked like last month. And then here we are today. Yeah, this is what my palette looks like. As you can see, I've managed to clean up another pan, and this shade now has no pan anymore. This had like the tiniest bit around the outside left, and it started to crumble, and I wanted to repress it. Same goes for this shade. And then I decided to just mix them together to make one eyeshadow. I was mostly using them at the same time anyway, so I just made one shadow out of it, and that's another pan empty. So I'm gonna go over the total amount of uses on this palette. You're gonna see the numbers on the screen. I don't know if we're going from left to right or right to left, but you will see the number. So I think we're good. First up is the mixture of the shades Illusion and Lullaby, which I had to use 14 times before I repressed it, and the pan is now empty because I mixed it in with the shade next to it, which was Lullaby. I had used that 8 times this month. Before repressing it. The pan had expanded quite a bit. Like I said, the Illusion shade was just a very tiny rim on the outside, and it's now in one pan. So that's that one. The two next to that were already used up. Then we have a new empty pan. Metal Cupid, the dark version, had the tiniest bit left, and it has taken me 2 more uses to finish that shadow. Next to that is a lighter version of that shade. I did not use that at all this month. I think I've been focusing on the darker version more, and I was so sick and tired of that shade that I didn't want to touch it at all. Next to that is Dogma. I've used that 4 times this month, which isn't a lot, but okay. It's slow going. Next to that is Vanitas. I've used that 4 times. You can see a slight pan expansion, but not dramatically. And then on the last row we have a Franken of the shade Inception, which I've used once. And then the blush I also did not touch. So for this palette, honestly, that extra empty pan, so we have 2 empty pans. I completely forgot about this because I used this up at the beginning of the month because I wanted to have it done. So we actually have 2 new empty pans, this one and then that Illusion shade, which is slightly mixed into this, but we don't talk about that. Other than that, this is just slow going. I'm gonna transfer it into a smaller palette actually, because I have more shadows in here that I have to take out for this video. So I'm gonna place these shadows in their own little palette so that we just have these shadows. The empty pans can go out, and I'm gonna just try my best and work on these shadows, but I have been putting a little bit more focus into my ABH Nervina palette. So I will also show you what that looked like last month. And then here it is today. I hope you can see that we have hit a new pan in drama. That was one of my goals, to hit pan in that shade, and I did. I have been slightly expanding some pans, but it has been slow but steady progress. So I'm also going to put up 2 photos on the screen of this palette and put up my numbers of usage. So the first shade that is in the palette is Summer. I have used that shade 6 times this month. Then skipping over to Celestial, the purple, I've used that twice this month. Next to that is Dazzling. I've used that twice this month. Then Drama I've used 5 times and I was able to hit pan. And then on the row below that we start with Incense, which I've used twice, and then Eccentric, which I have used 6 times actually. So there is a little bit of progress. I think you can see a slight change in the pan in Summer, but not a lot. Yeah, it's very similar to what my Nabla Dreamy palette used to be. So I'm kind of like finding a way to enjoy this palette. I've really been loving Eccentric. Honestly, Incense and Volatile are very similar to what I had left of my Nabla Dreamy palette. So now that I have 1 shade left, which is more similar to this shade here than to that one, I hope I can start to get more use out of this palette, these mattes. I'm happy that I have a pan in Drama. I've been using that as an eyeliner. I don't know if I will ever use it any other way. I don't know if I can completely use that up because it's not my favorite shade, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. This palette was introduced to go and roll into the next year, so yeah, I should not worry too much. I will go over the total amount of uses. Let's start with the one for the Nabla Dreamy palette. So the shade that was here, the Franken between Illusion and Lullaby, I have used a total of 44 times before. It was enough to mix in with this shadow. I mean, it wasn't finished, but okay. Then Lullaby I have used 46 times in total. Then down here, oh, I'm going the wrong way again, am I not? Okay, whatever. Down here, Vanitas, I have used 73 times in total. Dogma, I've used 115 times in total. This light version of Metal Cupid, I've used a total of 4 times, which isn't a lot, but that was after frankening. The darker version I've used a total of 20 times and now it's finished. This Franken shade I've used 12 times total, and the blush I did not use this month, so we're still at a total of 133 uses. I'm not going to set really any goals for this palette, maybe only hitting pan again in this shadow. But other than that, I just want to reach for this when I feel like it. I've come to the conclusion that I'm not going to finish up everything in here before the end of the year, and when the end of the year rolls around, I will reflect and think about which shades I want to keep and which ones are gonna just be decluttered. I have gotten my money's worth out of my Nabla Dreamy palette, so I'm fine with decluttering shadows at the end of this year if I don't feel like keeping them. And then we go over the total amount of uses of my ABH palette. So the shade Summer I have used a total of 9 times. Rose Gold is still stuck at 1. Celestial, I have now used a total of 4 times. Dazzling, I've used a total of 3 times. Drama, I've used a total of 8 times. Then Incense, I've used a total of 2 times. Love is still stuck at a total of 3. And Eccentric, I have used a total of 6 times. Slow but steady progress. I want to try and use each shade out of this palette at least once the next month. Just do a no pan left behind, kind of get to know it. And I'm probably gonna repress this palette. I have done some work already. I actually was repressing this shade right here, and I almost already wanted to start repressing these shadows, but then I remembered that I had hip pan in Drama and I wanted to show you guys live on video before repressing this palette. But I'm not gonna repress it into this packaging because that makes no sense, because ABH tends to have that disgusting rust in their pans, as you can see in the shade Dreamer that I already took out. This is rust. I don't know, I cannot see it yet in any of these pans, but I don't know what's underneath these eyeshadows. I feel okay with parting with this packaging. Like I said in my introduction to this palette, that video, there's a lot of controversy going around about the brand, so I feel fine like not showing this off, even though I'm pretty sure that I'm not like pressuring anyone into buying this or like raving about it, like you have to buy this, but either way, because of that and because of the rust issue, oh my goodness, I almost dropped it. I decided to repress these shadows into my trusty old Nabla Dreamy palette. This palette, I just love. It's nice. You can see in this packaging, this is where I used to hold it. You can see it's like wearing away. I just love this packaging. I don't know. I really, really like it. Still looks good. No rust in the pans. So as you maybe can see, I have put some stickers up for the shades that I want to repress in this palette. They're not all going to be in here. Right off the bat, Wild Child, I'm not going to repress like this into that palette. I might do a Franken with it. Not really sure. And the same goes for Love. So I might mix them together to make a blush. And then all of the other shades I am going to repress in this palette. I've already put the names up of the shades. And then I have 2 extra pans down here. Maybe I will put a shadow that is left over from this Nabla Dreamy palette at the end of the year back into this. I honestly don't know, but I do know I really want to repress these eyeshadows into that packaging. So that's why I wanted to film this update, so that I can go ahead and start doing that. Wow, the sun. Time to wrap up this video. I hope it all made sense. If I do a repress on camera, if I video it, I will upload it, of course, and maybe you want to watch that. I'm really getting blinded by the sun. What am I trying to say? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you again in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go put my sunglasses on. Bye.